I am sure by now you've heard about the cargo ship Dolly, which had a collision in the Francis Scott Key Bridge in Baltimore, Maryland. But have you heard it from a prepper's perspective? What does it mean to a prepper? What does it mean to our country overall? Well, it has a couple of meanings here that does take heart to the crux of what we're about here on Green Greg's. The crux is that this is two more straws on the camel's back toward breaking our system for global transport supply chains. And it's also a warning of things that may be to come. Okay, why two straws global supply chain? Well, guys, our global supply chain is already immensely stressed right now by the drought, of course, in Panama, which has greatly reduced the traffic across the Panama Canal. And I suppose you never heard of this thing going on in the Red Sea with the Houthis shooting missiles at cargo ships, which has deferred a lot of traffic around the south of Africa, which would have ordinarily taken that shortcut through the Red Sea, which means a whole lot of cost and delays and extra money to get supplies to other parts of the world, namely, especially in Europe, but to America also. So these things are hitting us in our supply chain. Well, now, how does this put two straws on that back? One, the highway that was carried by the Francis Scott Key Bridge was Interstate 695. That highway carried 11.5 million vehicles per year. We're talking trucks and cars. A lot of cargo went across there. Yeah, that can be diverted, but it will be at great delays because traffic will be backed up more in Baltimore, and some vehicles would choose to go far out of the way for that. So that will also is time and money. But moreover, the biggest impact, at least until they can clear the wreckage of the Francis Scott Key Bridge out of the river, is the fact that the port of Baltimore is now blocked. The port of Baltimore has to go through that channel to get their cargo in and out of the port. So this is a twofer. They've hit two things for the price of one, you might say. Well, my heart goes out to all the people there that's been affected by this, especially as we know now there were 8 people on the bridge. 2 have been recovered and 6 are missing. My thought, heart, and prayers goes out to the families of those people. I understand the people on the ship were okay, but we'll go into this a little bit more as we come along here. I'm going to show you some articles and various things to go with this, but I'm just going to hit the high points here first. Just hello, this is Greg Allison with Green Greg's, and I'm normally cover prepping news and gardening, homesteading, top topics here. But this does fit within that league when you look at the global supply chains, the fact that the prices for everything are going up, that we just had so many straws piled on this camel's back, it's getting unbearable. How many more does it take to really make the situation untenable? Just the situation in Panama Canal and the shipping going through the Red Sea and the Suez Canal are pretty bad already. So this is just 2 more little things, at least here locally on the East Coast of the United States. But it will have impacts. It will have ramifications that we'll all pay for. Now, there's a lot of people talking about they did it, different discussions on this stuff. The authorities came out and pretty immediately and ruled out terrorism before they even started an investigation of it. They ruled it out, but pretty much because the crew on the ship radioed in and called in a mayday ahead of time and claimed they had a propulsion problem. So it does sound like it's within the sphere of electromechanical issues from the ship Dolly itself. Could it have been instigated? Could something been planted? Hey, I don't know. There's an investigation still due to be done. There are some other suspicious aspects to this I will point out, but by and large, the key takeaway from this, from a standpoint of those who mean our nation harm, is they can look at this, they can see this and go, yeah, this is the kind of thing we want to do if they haven't already planned things like this. Just as an aircraft can be hijacked and crashed into buildings, it's far easier to hijack a ship. And with a ship, you might get a twofer, like take out a bridge and a port together, or at least a bridge. Look, we've got so many potential sleeper cell members in this country now that, our most key critical item in our infrastructure is our power grid. Man, they got that covered in spades easily. Don't take many people to take that down. I've talked about that extensively. I've also done a video, and I'll show you a link to it in a little bit, about the danger to our dams, how taking out dams upriver can cause cascading failures downriver, take out bridges and nuclear power plants all over the country. we already the Department of Homeland Insecurity and the FBI have been talking about threats to our water systems, our water treatment systems, our sewage treatment systems, and they're already being hacked. So there's tons of issues here in America right now to pay attention to. And this is one more of them. It's just another way that bridges might get taken out, that cargo can be disrupted, ports might be blocked off, more mayhem. This is why you need to get ready. You need to prepare. You need to get your house in order. Now, check out prepwithgreg.com for one thing for long-term food storage. I'll show you some other stuff in a minute because it's springtime. It's really time to plant your own food. All right, let's go into these articles. I'm going to show you some stuff that about this, and we'll talk about it briefly. I'm not going to keep this as a long video. We'll do a share screen, and we're going right here. I think this video's got some power cursing. There it is right there. Bam, you can see they hit it. They hit that piling directly, and the whole bridge just falls down right on top of the Dali ship. The Francis Scott Key Bridge just collapsed. This happened about 1:24 a.m. Luckily, it was in the wee hours of the morning, so there was only 8 individuals reportedly on the bridge. There were some emergency vehicles up on the bridge. I don't know if those people were associated with that. Hopefully, they got notification and escaped due to the. They should have blocked that bridge off because there was a mayday. Why they didn't block the bridge off? Oh, there was a timeline that showed that after 1:27, it was like 15 minutes before the 911 center sent out notifications, and another 10 minutes after that before emergency crews showed up, the first responders. So, you know, if you're in a car and you're hurtling toward the water, no, it may take 30 minutes for somebody just to show up to look at your car floating from the shoreline. How long is it going to take them to get to you? I don't know, guys. But this is why you got to prepare for yourselves as much as you can. You can't expect emergency providers are going to cover everything for you immediately. Now, this is really starting. It's really fast. It just hits it right with the corner of the ship, and it falls fast. Gravity does its work quickly. All righty, guys, so let's move on here. Here is the video I did called Dam Dangers, U.S. and Abroad. And I was talking about dams in the United States and abroad and how they can be targeted and taken out, the dangers to our dams. Now, you'll have to search on Dam Dangers to pull this up. Dam Dangers, you just come in here and see where I searched for it to pull this video up. I will put a link in the show notes. So, okay. Baltimore Francis Scott Key Bridge collapsed. Well, we know about the ship and the bridge. Well, this bridge was 1.6 miles long. It was the 3rd largest freestanding continuous truss bridge. Is what this thing was here. You can see it. 1.6 miles long. It was a ginormous bridge. The Queen Elizabeth II Bridge in Kent, UK, and the Golden Gate Bridge are longer for that kind of span. Not to say there aren't bigger bridges, but this continuous, what they call it, a continuous truss bridge, which the main span was 1,200 feet. And I don't know if that's this part or the whole thing. I think that may be this piece. I don't know. But that truss work supports the weight of the bridge itself and transmits it into these pilings. You take down the piling, all that weight is coming down fast. That's a lot of weight. So those are critical points, very critical points. And right here is where the Dali struck. So what do we know about the ship? It was built by a Greek ship owner, Ocean Bulk. Built for them by a South Korean Hyundai Heavy Industries. And again, operated by the Synergy Group and was leased by Maersk. Yes, Maersk. You've heard of them many times. And this is the ship. It was capable of carrying 10,000 TEUs. A TEU is basically a 20-foot Connex or ISO shipping container, International Shipping Organization shipping container. Well, it's like you see on the back of some trucks. It was that's a 20-foot equivalent. That's what TEU stands for, 20-foot equivalent unit. I've talked about that in other videos, talking about how cargo ships could be used to attack America. The route it took was coming out of the port of Baltimore. It was going straight, and then right about here, it diverted. This is where it lost power. Some people said they saw smoke coming out of it before it collided. Maybe they were trying to reverse the engines. They dropped anchor at some point. How soon did they drop anchor? Well, the National Transportation Safety Board will be looking into when they dropped anchor on that. That's one of the things we're going to be looking at. You can see the collapse happened very fast. So we'll come over in here. Yeah, here's another thing you might consider with all the uncertainty with our economic system, a supply chains. You might want to back in our dollar. You might want to back your currency up. I would say check out Defy the Grid. You can buy gold, coins, rounds, silver, platinum. The best thing I like are these gold backs. And you can, because that's a small fungible amount. It's true gold, but it's in minute amounts that you can spend on everyday items. So I would consider that. You can get a 1% discount if you use the code Green Gregs when you go to Defy the Grid. All right. So links for that will be in the show notes too. The Dolly lost control before the Baltimore Bridge collapse, according to this source here, which is Newsweek. And let's see, they talk about the vessel notified the Maryland Department of Transportation that lost control of the vessel, and an collision with the bridge was possible. Collision is the word used for a marine collision. Almost looks like Allison, don't it? With an extra I in it. Collision, like collision. I don't really come up with these words, but that's a legal marine term. All right, so over here. The National Transportation Safety Board says it's too early to tell if reports of power outage on the ship are true. So there's still an investigation going on. It's possible that somebody tampered with the ship. We don't know that yet. But it's within the realm of the kind of accidents you have. And this same ship was involved in a previous collision in Antwerp. See, they side-struck some structure there in Antwerp, in Belgium. Same ship. So this ship has got a history of having run into things. See there? Well, that's the bridge collapse photo there. Pardon me. But this same ship has got a history, and that's probably, yeah, that's a bridge collapse photo too. That's not the Antwerp collision. So, yeah. So it was built in 2015, had a crew of 22 people, but this is not its first collision. Just thought you might want to hear about that. I think it sideswiped some structure there in Antwerp. So 6 people still missing. I don't want to show all that. So here we are, guys. Now, Lisa Haven with her channel, I do watch her regularly. She's got a very interesting channel. Shout out to her. She did a video earlier today talking about the problem with monitors on cranes, that China is supplying most of the cranes at airports, and they've got monitoring gear like cell phone technology built into them. As I have talked about here in the video just 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago, I was talking about that very thing. You see the crane ship I got in the thumbnail photograph, and you can see me talking about that in this video. I was talking about vehicles across the board, how they're monitoring a lot of stuff from the Chinese Communist Party that they're selling over here in America. You can see it flash in the image right there. See cranes. So cranes have been a subject of contention. Now, monitoring something and having a direct effect on something are two different things. Now, if you know a ship's about to set sail, if you want to put somebody on board to do some nefarious work, that might make that easier. I am not saying that was done. I really doubt it in this case. But see, this could happen in the future. If we get to the point where we're in a point of major mayhem, we're in war conflict with other nations, and they've got sleeper cells here in America, well, you can expect things would begin to happen. So, but those cranes were just transported that are used at the port of Baltimore, just transported there last, let's see, September 2021. September 2021. And this shows those huge cranes being transported in the daylight. Well, it's a good thing the Dali was coming through at almost 1:30 in the morning, because there's a lot less traffic on that bridge. But that all traffic don't occur at 1:30 in the morning, or 1:27 actually is when it struck. So anyway, Port of Baltimore welcomes 4 additional giant cranes to service container ships. You can see this is a daylight transit right under the bridge. So that looks like a different bridge there, though. That is a different bridge. That's the Chesapeake Bay Bridge there. No wonder, yeah, I was about to say that is not the same bridge. But they did supposing there's video of a daylight transit of that. All right, enough said on that. Enough, stop the share. So once again, the takeaway here is that our supply chains are going to be more challenged, which is going to challenge availability of things. It's going to challenge the price of things, and it's going to challenge us in the future if we get into conflict with these other countries, because you're going to expect mayhem to occur here. The upcoming war, World War III, won't be like any, even if it don't go nuclear, or the nuclear's delayed, it will be like no other world war we've been involved in, where all our fighting is overseas. There's going to be major consternation here at home. And this is one form that it may take. This is a warning. If we're in a major war with other people, you might want to think twice about going through that bridge. Or if you're going to go through it, get across it fast. I wouldn't want to be stuck on a bridge in a traffic jam in a situation like that. Avoid crowds by the same token, because look what just happened in Moscow. Those kind of things can be expected too. There are so many potential sleeper cell agents and so much hacking in our systems, so much monitoring in our systems here in America. If and when we get into a major war with any other adversary, unless we find some way to really get our systems here at home secure, ferret out people who've come here that mean harm and get them out of this country, you can expect major mayhem beyond anything you can imagine. This is why you got to be prepared. This is why you got to get ready. This is why you got to get your ducks in order, and why you really should get right with your maker. But these are the things that you need to take into consideration to protect yourself and your family. Eyes wide open and head on a swivel. I'll bring you this. I'm Greg Allison, Green Gregs. I'll bring you this to help you survive, thrive, and stay out of the hive. That's the proposition of this channel now. And my associated channel, Swivelhead News, I take the more pointy news that this platform is not too happy with and put it on Swivelhead News now. That's my main, just everyday reporting of war and such outlet. So go to Swivelhead News for that kind of stuff, because I'm afraid that's the kind of content would take this channel down completely, and this is my main channel. So I've been moving stuff over there. Check it out. If you've not checked out Swivelhead News, do so. I'll probably go live there tonight, maybe, if I can pull it off. I wanted to last night, I just didn't have the time. Anyway, guys, take this to heart. You can expect more inflation for many different reasons. You can expect shortages. So the things that you need, get it now. Bottom line is this: grid goes down, or we get major disruption. What you got is all you got. It's like musical chairs. You're in this little game of musical chairs, and the music stops and you have to sit down. What you got's all you got. There's nothing more. So be ready, be prepared. Get it while the getting's good. One of my great adages. So with that, I'm going to say, subscribe to my channel, bang the notification bell, and click off. Please share my content, because this channel, this platform really doesn't seem to be in just great love with me. Yeah, subscribe people. And they don't send out a lot of notifications for me like they did when I very first started. They don't send hardly any notifications out now to people. So help me out, spread my channel, share my videos. Thank you for watching, and Greg out.